Well, on Hope 103.2, joining us from Signpedia, Sally and Youngju. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much for having us, Laura.
Sally, first of all, can you tell us what is the need that Signpedia is trying to meet through the education resources that you provide?
Yeah. So access to high quality Auslan instruction and resources is what we are all about. And for us, we really define that as Auslan learning experiences that are not just fun and enjoyable and rooted in good quality learning science, but that are championed by deaf people and are taught by deaf people that have been signing since birth, that are native Auslan users. And I think this is really important so that the learners that we teach, they can really embrace Auslan in a culturally appropriate and sensitive way, and trust that it's legit Auslan that they're learning and not just some, other random baby signs or even American Sign Language of some random YouTuber. Yeah,
well, and it's interesting you bring up the distinction between Australian Auslan, American Auslan. There are different dialects, which most of us, we may not be aware that there are distinctions between the kinds of Auslan language.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Youngju herself, she knows so many different sign languages and languages around the world. Like, she would be the best person to tell you how different they are.
Please do, Youngju. What are the distinctions between the different dialects?
Yes, well, some countries have their own sign language. For example, America has their own sign language, American Sign Language. French people have their own sign language. New Zealanders have their own sign language. We all use different sign language for each country.
And in Australia, we do have two different dialects. We have the northern dialect and the southern dialect. There are a few differences, but mainly there's more similarities than differences. So there are a few different things like how you might sign good morning and the colours and things, but mostly they're pretty similar.
And something that you guys have designed with Signpedia is this Auslan Whiz app. What's on that platform?
Yes, yeah. So Auslan Whiz is really a collaboration between Signpedia and SignLab. And so the two organisations got together and we've created Auslan Whiz, which is a gamified micro-learning app. And so the idea is really just learn Auslan in 5 minutes a day, just little bits here and there. You can do it on the train, on the way to work, or whatever you want. And it really just gives you the basics of Auslan in a few minutes a day. So it's topic-based. So you've got everyday topics, so you learn everyday signs on various topics like family, things around the house, time, animals, that kind of thing. And we also try to not just teach you single signs, single words, but also move you up into sentences so that you can start conversing with people on basic topics, on daily sorts of things. So we've got little games and quizzes and activities and lots of, fun interactions in there. But we've also got some really cool tools like an Auslan dictionary. So if there's a word that you want to know the sign for, you can just go and look that up in the dictionary. And like I said before, it's so important that we've got those deaf and Auslan cultural insights and community sort of things. So we've got a little bit of theory in there on, the best way to communicate with deaf people, or how do you get their attention, and even differences between Auslan and English grammar, that kind of thing. So it's all just really fun. It's got little bits here and there that you can do throughout the day. Yeah, it's great.
Youngju, do you feel like Auslan is something that should almost be an expected or mandatory second language that's taught to all of us? Because for my thinking, not only would Auslan be really useful for deaf individuals, for families of those who are deaf, but even as somebody gets a bit older, as you may lose your hearing in later life, knowing Auslan, surely it would help so many people who struggle with that kind of ability to communicate in other ways.
Yes, absolutely. I really believe that a lot of people would benefit from learning Auslan in school or in the public. It'd help you to approach people. If you came across someone who was deaf, you would feel less nervous. I think it's really important to have that connection with the deaf community. Perhaps in your workplace or in a hospital setting, you may come across a deaf person. So I think it's a skill that everyone should learn.
And Auslan Whiz, Sally, we know that this year it's going to be free for people to access. Explain how that's working and what's included.
Yes, yeah. So it's free for 1 year for all schools in Australia. So really, we just want to make learning Auslan more accessible for students all around Australia. And we want to support our Auslan teachers with high quality Auslan teaching resources. So we've made it completely free, no strings attached for all schools in Australia. It doesn't matter if you're public or independent. All they need to do is get in contact with their school. So students, parents or whatever can get in contact with their teachers. They can contact us through our website, and we'll get you all signed up completely free for 1 year from February 2026 of this year to February 2027. And teachers will also get access to our teacher portal, so they'll be able to track student progress and see how they're going and see areas where they might need more support, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's such a brilliant idea. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Youngju, for chatting with us about it. Do either of you have any final thoughts you wanted to add before we wrap it up?
Yes, I thought, Laura, it might be nice to end on a note of me teaching you a sign. I want to teach you the sign for hope. I'll show you the sign for hope. This is the sign for hope. If you copy me, you twist your first and your middle finger around each other, both hands, and then the numbers for your radio station: 1, 0, 3.2. So
Yay!
Hope 103.2. Yay! And this is how you clap in Auslan, with your waving hands.
I'll have to practice that a little bit and get better at it. But thank you so much.